You guys, Mike here from the Unchained Teacher, and today what I want to do is talk to you about teacher balance and burnout. So before we get started with this video, what I'd like to do is offer you my free guide titled "The 5 Things That Great Teachers Get Right." It's a simple PDF going over 5 things that I've learned over the years through observing veteran teachers that most, if not all of them, do day in and day out. So just 5 things that I've kind of seen over the years that have really helped me in my teaching, and I want to share that with you. At the same time, I've started my own Facebook group for first year teachers who are looking for support, looking to get help in certain areas like classroom management or maybe curriculum development, any kind of thing that might help you get to the next level as a teacher, or just take some stuff off your plate so that you can focus on your class and your students. So go ahead and download those. Those will be in the link in the description below. But for today, teacher balance and burnout, a lot of these things are easier said than done. But what we see a lot of times is, as a teacher, especially in your first year or two, you're really excited to start the year. And as you get into September, October, November, you start piling things up on your plate, and you're working late into the night, or you're getting up early, or you're working your whole weekend, and you start to see this burnout happening that can really kind of put people over the edge. And you hear a lot of people say, is this right for me? Is teaching right? Especially when a lot of your buddies or friends are leaving work at work, right? And they're coming and having their whole night to themselves. So things I've experienced myself, a lot of other people have as well. And so today I want to go through a couple things that might help you. So number one would be to collaborate with others in and out of your district. So this would be like, for example, I teach 8th grade math. So collaborating with the other 8th grade math teachers, working together to come up with a plan. A lot of times, if you're a first year teacher, they can give you things, or even help you follow the same plan they use, and you can kind of tweak it as you go, do what works for you. But I know some people have commented before and have said that, nobody's working with me. I have a team, but everybody's keeping their material to themselves, which unfortunately happens. Definitely not a proponent of that, because as teachers, right, we're trying to make students better and help them learn. So in my opinion, I think it's selfish if teachers keep their stuff to themselves, but it does happen. So if nobody in your district is willing to help you, and in our district, we have 2 different middle schools. So I might reach out, and I work pretty closely with some math teachers at the other middle school. Or in the years past, what I've done is I've even reached out to people at other districts. So my first teaching job, the first school that I worked at, for example, they threw away our textbook basically and said, create your own. And that, as a first year teacher, really freaked me out. I didn't know what to do. So I reached out to some of my former math teachers in high school to kind of chat about what they might do. And they were super willing to help and share. And that was a great experience for me. So if you're feeling that burnout and you're not collaborating with others, please feel free to reach out to somebody in your district or somebody out of your district and learn from them, steal materials from them, not actually steal, but use what they have, because people have been doing this for a long time. And so just taking some of those key elements that help them throughout the day, if you can use those, that's going to make teaching a lot better for you. Number two would be to build a plan for the next couple of years and then focus on 1 to 2 things this year. So, for example, with me teaching 8th grade math, if I were to look at my entire year and the chapters that I want to get to, right, I could roughly plan out when my units will start and end. So what I like to do is build a calendar of the whole year, roughly. Again, it's not ever going to be perfect. And then kind of go through all the things that you need to create. So if you need to create all the assessments and all of the homeworks and the answer keys and the activities and the handouts, like, that is super overwhelming if you feel like you have to do that in 1 year. So what I like to do, and I'll give you an example from my class. I run a flipped classroom, meaning that the students watch the video lesson at home, and then when they come to school, we kind of talk about the video. We go over questions. We do activities and games, and partner time when you're kind of working through problems. So what I did last, or I guess the first year that I ran this, the first year I made the videos and the assessments were already made. So I went through and made videos, and then I made answer keys for everything. So all the assessments, all of the practice problems. So then the next year I had the videos and the answer keys made. So then I focused on making more activities and games, and making things more interactive. And then the next year, maybe I focus on some other tool that you might need. Maybe you work on pull-out groups, or maybe you want to build in stations, or maybe you just want to make games that are more fun, or do more of a storytelling thing with your math class. So think about what you have to build, right? Big picture view, and then only focus on 1 to 2 things. What I've seen is that when you try to focus on everything, not many things go right. And I will say my first year, I didn't collect answer keys. I was so busy doing everything that I didn't organize anything, and I threw it all the way at the end or like as I went. And then the next year I realized, like, oh man, I have to do all this work over again because I didn't save my answer keys, because I was just too stressed with everything else going on. So make sure, build a plan, pick 1 to 2 things this year. Once you get those done, you have those for next year. Do 1 to 2 other things, right? And keep building as you go. Hopefully, you teach the same class year after year. And that's really seemed to help me as I've gone on. And then the last one, number 3, avoid working your whole weekend. So I know this is easier said than done, but a lot of new teachers that I've talked to recently talk about how they are waking up early, staying late, working Saturdays and Sundays. They're not having any fun with their friends. And what I would say to that is try your best to set a time limit, or at least start batching things. So do things in chunks so that you give yourself time to just be a human, right? We're all human. You need time to fill up your cup so that you can fill your students' cups and the people that you work with. So maybe if you find yourself working a lot of times on Saturdays and Sundays, maybe if you're a morning person, set a chunk of a couple hours or whatever you need, and then once that time is up, you move on to the next thing. And I think what that does is it helps you prioritize what's most important. So that way, you might not get through everything, but maybe you don't have to, right? Maybe you're just prioritizing those few things, getting those done, and then enjoying your weekend, or enjoying your nights will help you get through your first year. And then again, the next year you focus on a couple other things. But if you are consistently and constantly working all weekend, you will get burnt out. It's just not a sustainable thing. If you think about most other careers, you're not doing that a lot of the time. So make sure that you are taking time from your weekend or from your nights to enjoy time with friends or family, or if you just need some time alone, that's great too. But try your best to not work all weekend. I know for me, I would work sometimes. I would stay kind of late Friday, not late, maybe 5 o'clock on a Friday. I'd do a couple hours on Saturday, and then Sundays I'd go to church, hang out with family, and then I would do stuff for like 4 or 5 hours on Sunday, and it just kicked my butt. And it was almost every weekend I told my wife that I wanted to switch what I was doing. So try your best to not do that. Set time limits, do what you need to do, but then go have fun and enjoy your life, because work's not all your whole life. And then a bonus: use online resources as needed. So there's a lot of with the internet, there's so much out there that you can purchase. For example, Teachers Pay Teachers. I know everybody has their own opinion on whether teacher resources should be free or not. But at the end of the day, you might just have to pay for some things. So sometimes there are some activities in math that maybe I just don't have the energy, or I need a quick activity or a quick lesson. I'll go on Teachers Pay Teachers. There are usually $1, maybe 5, maybe 10. But if you were to pay for 1 or 2 things a month, let's say, you basically buy back some of your time that you can enjoy doing whatever you want. So don't be afraid to use stuff like that. I use a lot of online activities, a lot of online games that are free. GimKit, Quizlet, quizzes, a lot of things to just kind of be active and get your students moving around. So those would be my 3 tips to avoid teacher balance and burnout. It's definitely a real thing, and hopefully we're working towards teachers feeling comfortable and confident and living their life more than just in the classroom. So if that helps you, I hope it does. That would be great. If it does not, or you have a question, please leave that in the comment section below. I'd love to get back to you. Or if you disagree, right, I'd love to hear about what what you have to say. But maybe talk about in the comments below what you struggle with the most with balance or burnout. What's burning you out right now as we get into currently it's the end of September. So what's burning you out right now? But anyway, if you haven't downloaded that free 5 Things Great Teachers Get Right, that PDF, go ahead and do that. And also, again, I started that Facebook group to support teachers who are in their first couple years who just need maybe some guidance or just a vent that we can come together, share our wins, share our losses, and hopefully get better as a group. So I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.